Of the land, forward and secure future. People love it, our God. From being to be, the NDC shall lead. Stable democrat, our strength to unity. From being to be. Unity from being to be the end is shining. Every is coming again, and the people say, it's all for God. 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 Of the land, for weather and secure future. People love and our God. From vision to big, the NDC shall lead. Able democrat, Ghana, our strength in unity. From vision to big, the NDC shall lead. Able democrat, Ghana, our strength in unity. The sound. Are we ready? Okay. Are we all ready? Good.
Distinguished ladies and gentlemen of the media,
good afternoon to you all. On behalf of the National Democratic Congress, we welcome you to our headquarters, and we thank you for honoring our invitation at short notice. Let me start by apologizing to you for starting this press conference 1 hour late. We have invited you here
to address you
on events that took place during the election of the Speaker of the 8th Parliament of the Republic of Ghana, the 4th Republic of Ghana, and fallouts from that election. But before we commence, let me acknowledge media organizations who are streaming this important press conference live on their esteemed platforms. In Greater Accra, we are live on GH1 TV, Metro TV, Joy News TV, Pan African TV, Home Base TV, UTV, Power FM, Asempa FM, Class FM, Accra FM, and Ahoto FM. You can also watch us on social media on Wazor TV, Pan African TV, Radio Gold, and the NDC's Communication Bureau page on Twitter and Facebook. As always, we are live on dozens of stations across the 15 other regions of Ghana. But because time is not our best friend this afternoon, we will start and acknowledge these stations as we move along. And so, let me acknowledge the presence of members of Parliament, our gallant, courageous members of Parliament who are here. I can see Honorable Bizidin, I can see Honorable Ejia Ladi, and I can see 2 of our gallant members of Parliament here. Please, comrades here in Ghana, let's give them a round of applause. We salute them for their courage and dedication to the party and Mother Ghana. We also acknowledge the presence of all members of the Functional Executive Committee who are here, and all former appointees and regional executives who are sitting on the podium. So ladies and gentlemen, with a round of applause, let us welcome to the podium the man who will be addressing us on these very important national issues, our General Secretary, the only general in Ghana's politics, and Chief Executive Officer of our party, ladies and gentlemen, Honorable Asiedu Nketia. Let's welcome him.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen of the press. May I take this opportunity on behalf of the entire leadership of the National Democratic Congress and on my own behalf to extend to you all, and all Ghanaians healthy New Year wishes. We have convened this press engagement to focus attention on the historic developments and other matters of grave concern relating to the election of Speaker and Deputy Speakers of the Parliament of the Republic of Ghana, which transpired 2 days ago. From the onset, I'd like to salute and celebrate our gallant NDC members of Parliament for the brave fight they put up in the defense of the Constitution of the Republic of Ghana and, by extension, our democracy. By their resilience and dogged determination, they were able to produce an outcome never before seen in the political history of our dear country. In congratulating the NDC side of the House, Permit me to also commend the true nationalists on the MPP side who put the national interest above parochial partisan interests, which led to this glorious outcome. The election of the veteran legislator and perhaps Ghana's most decorated member of parliament, who has been an MP since 7 January 1993, is a refreshing development which presents positive prospects for our democracy. That said, ladies and gentlemen, events preceding and during the election of the Speaker have cast dark clouds about our democracy and has once again exposed the undemocratic tendencies of the Akufo-Addo-led administration. Indeed, some of these events caused serious embarrassment to the Ghanaian people and brought international shame to our democracy, which was once the envy of many nations. The indelible dark imprints of 6th and 7th January 2021 left many, including us in the NDC, wondering how our once vibrant democracy has sunk and continues to be denigrated under the watch of President Akufo-Addo, who has supervised the most fraudulent election in the history of our republic. Let me firstly place on record the National Democratic Congress's total condemnation of the dastardly acts of connivance to abuse judicial processes, intimidation, brazen disregard for the provisions of the 1992 Constitution of Ghana, naked acts of robbery and disregard of the electoral laws of Ghana, as well as the desecration of Parliament occasioned by the invasion of armed commandos of the Ghana Police and Armed Forces, which constitutes an affront to our democracy. Secondly, I'd like to formally commend the 137 NDC members of Parliament for their display of extraordinary courage, gallantry, resilience, dexterity, loyalty, and commitment to the cause of Ghana and the National Democratic Congress in the manner they put up the needed fierce resistance, even at gunpoint, to ensure a sound defeat of the forces of evil and the resounding triumph of our democracy. And finally, to congratulate Right Honorable Alban Kingsford Sumana Bagwin on the occasion of his election to the high office of the 8th Speaker of the 4th Republic of Parliament of Ghana. Ladies and gentlemen of the media, a brief account of the event that unfolded prior to, during, and after the election of the Speaker of Parliament would establish the appropriate background to our subsequent submissions. In compliance with Article 95(3) of the Constitution of Ghana, which provides, and I quote, "No business shall be transacted in Parliament other than the election to the office of Speaker at any time when the office of Speaker is vacant," unquote. The Clerk of Parliament, Mr. Cyril Kwabena Otin Nsia, who was clothed with the authority to convene the House in the absence of the Speaker, called the new House to order for commencement of official business at exactly 7 minutes after midnight on the 7th of January. When nominations were invited from the floor, Honorable Haruna Idrusu, the MP for Tamale South and the incoming majority leader proposed Honorable Bachman to take the chair as Speaker of the 8th Parliament of the 4th Republic of Ghana. Honorable Muntaka Mubarak rose to second the motion, but in a bizarre twist of events and in clear breach of the standing orders, the Clerk of Parliament, who was then presiding, recognized Honorable Afenyo Makin, the MPP MP for Efutu, who rose on point of order. Honorable Afenyo sought to find out from the clerk whether he had received service of a Cape Coast High Court order restraining the MP-elect for Asen North from being sworn in as a member of Parliament. A debate ensued, but before all sides could be heard adequately. For instance, Honorable Dominic Ayine was on his feet, struggling to catch the eye of the clerk. The clerk overlooked all that and ruled that he had received the court order, so the MP-elect of Asen North could not participate in the proceedings. A clear, calculated ploy to reduce the voting strength of the NDC side. However, the clerk was compelled by his own embarrassment to reverse his earlier decision when he could not provide further and better particulars of the service, including the name of the bailiff who affected the service. At this stage, it became clear that an MPP official actually served the clerk with the court order and not a court bailiff. It is the considered view of the NDC that this act of connivance by the Clerk of Parliament constitutes serious misconduct on the part of the occupant of the high office of the Clerk of Parliament of the Republic of Ghana and must not go unaddressed. It is a big shame, ladies and gentlemen, that the Clerk of Parliament scandalously lent himself as a pliant tool in the conspiracy to reduce NDC's parliamentary numbers and give the MPP an unfair advantage in the speakership election. How an order of injunction was allegedly dispatched from Cape Coast at 4:44 p.m. could be served on the Clerk of Parliament at 4:55 p.m. when he was within the presence of Parliament performing his functions is a mystery which only the MPP and the Clerk of Parliament alone can explain. The NDC roundly condemns in the strongest possible terms not only the contravention of the due process of law by the Clerk of Parliament, but the shameful conduct of the Cape Coast High Court. Article 104, Clause 4 of the Constitution provides that, and I quote, where Parliament is considering a bill to amend the Constitution, or where the voting is in relation to the election or removal of any person under this Constitution or under any other law, voting shall be in secret. This provision was read and explained to the House before the commencement of the voting. Yet the MPP side of the House insisted on open voting, where each of their members was compelled to display their marked ballot paper openly to their leadership before putting it in the ballot box. In the face of this clear breach of the Constitution and the unwillingness or inability or both of the presiding clerk to enforce the rules, the gallant NDC MPs were left with no other option than to disrupt the voting and stop the continuous perpetrating of this impunity and fraud. Their demand was very clear and specific. Either the vote is conducted according to law, or there will be no voting at all. When it became clear that the MPP side could not have their way in flouting the rules, the MP for Bimbilla and outgoing Minister of Defense ordered armed commandos from the military and the police, with the shameless assistance of Substandard Kwesi Ofori of Greater Accra Police Command, to invade the house in order to intimidate and push away the gallant NDC MPs who had occupied the center of the house to prevent the vote rigging. There was a standoff between the MPs and the soldiers, which lasted for well over 15 minutes. Once again, the forces of evil were eventually repelled amid boos of shame, shame, thieves, etc., etc. Calm was restored and voting resumed peacefully after a meeting of leadership of both sides with the clerk. It is important to note that a significant number of MPP MPs still managed to display their votes openly, but they were ignored with contempt. At the close of polls, there were signs of relief that the worst was over. Little did anybody conjecture that the most disgraceful action in the history of parliamentary practice in Ghana was about to unfold under our very eyes. After the sorting of ballots, the completion of the first part of the counting process, which saw one rejected ballot and 136 votes cast in favor of Professor Mike Aaron Quay, the MPP MP for Swami, Honorable Osei Mensah Bonsu, was seen directing Honorable Carlos Ahenkra, another MPP MP for Tema West, to the table where the ballots were being counted. In fact, Honorable Osei Mensah Bonsu was seen shoving another MP off to pave the way for Carlos Ahenkra. Immediately after, Honorable Carlos Ahenkra dashed to the table, snatched the heap of ballots being counted for Bagwin, and took to his heels in a Usain Bolt style. Once again, the gallantry of the NDC MPs was on display, and within minutes, the ballot thief had been arrested and the papers retrieved, even though he had managed to chew and swallow 2 ballot papers. Surprisingly, the same leadership of MPP who had orchestrated this daylight robbery in Parliament unashamedly began calling for annulment of the election on account of the ballots having been tampered with. You go and steal ballot papers, and you want somebody's victory to be annulled because of your thievery. This is exactly what played out in Sene West, where the MPP youth organizer snatched a ballot box, managed to break the MPP seal on the box. When he was arrested, and both the Electoral Commission and NDC accepted that the ballots could be counted, the same MPP people came demanding that the box had been tampered with, so it cannot be counted. And when the matter went to court, when the thief was sent to court, his senior official the deputy regional chairman of MPP in Boron region was the lawyer to defend him. When that defense failed, and the thief was jailed 3 months for tampering with the ballot box. Then they came back and tried to prevent the counting of the contents of the box through a court injunction. Fortunately, that did not succeed. The same way as Bagben's attempt to spoil Bagben's vote did not succeed. And so the NDC MP in Senate West had to be declared the winner, the same way as Right Honorable Abam Bagben has also been declared a winner. The MPP demand for a rerun of the elections and the counter demand for the declaration of Honorable Bagben as the winner led to another 2 hours of stalemate before eventually evil had to succumb to the forces of democracy. In fact, at some point in time, the MPP were demanding that before Bagben could be declared the winner, we should accept a joint statement indicating that Professor Michael Oquaye withdrew from the contest and there was no election at all. Can you imagine this? Everybody in the world saw the election happening, saw the ballot papers being stolen. And you want us to come and embarrass ourselves, or rather, to share in your embarrassment with a common statement that the election didn't take place and Mike Aaron Oquaye was never defeated and that he withdrew eventually to allow Bagben to go. Some of us insisted that Mike Oquaye had lost the elections and let the whole world know that he had lost the elections because he was warned. In fact, I did warn him that he was too old to be a speaker. And I advised him that this was the time for him to dedicate the rest of his life telling Anansi stories to his grandchildren. He didn't listen. And he went in for the contest. So you must be prepared for the shock of a defeat. That's all. Nothing more, nothing less. So we are happy that the truth eventually prevailed. And some of us didn't understand why a clerk will conduct elections only for leadership of parliament to declare results. We insisted that the clerk must declare the results of his own elections. If he's proud of the election, he should say so. And that was done. Ladies and gentlemen of the media, parliaments in every democratic jurisdiction represent the bulwark of democratic freedoms, and we insist that this excessive abuse of power to intimidate members of parliament represent a desecration of our highly revered parliamentary democracy and a grave affront to the dignity of the legislative arm of government. No other person than Nana Akufo-Addo as Commander-in-Chief, or shall I say Acting Commander-in-Chief of the Ghana Armed Forces and Chair of the National Security Council was directly responsible for the unwarranted, illegal, and despotic invasion of Parliament before its inauguration. Ladies and gentlemen, on the night of the elections, specifically as midnight approached, one could see at play all the condemnable acts of violence, intimidation, abuse of the judicial process, misuse of the Ghana Armed Forces, and the destruction of once revered state institutions that characterized the just ended December 7 presidential and parliamentary elections. What happened in Parliament from January 6 to 7, 2021 was simply God's way of bringing life to all Ghanaians, freely. The infractions and crimes the NDC had been complaining about since we went to the polls. The MPP's penchant to ignore due process, set the rules aside, and use brute force to have its way has now played out before Ghanaians and the international community freely. We would like to urge the newly elected Speaker and our MPs to always remember the hard-fought victory of that night and ensure they put the national interest first at all times. Ladies and gentlemen, the sad spectacle we witnessed in Parliament were just a repeated snapshot of what took place across the length and breadth of the country during the general elections held on December 7, 2020. The use of armed soldiers at various polling stations and constituency collation centers, snatching of ballot boxes, intimidation, harassment, and in some cases, killing of innocent, unarmed civilians in cold blood was what characterized the elections of 7th December 2020. The circumvention of due process, as we have witnessed in the election of a Speaker of Parliament, was played out in the form of plain thievery and systematic rigging, culminating in the flawed and fraudulent declaration which the NDC is challenging in the Supreme Court. As the world witnessed the ugly events of speakership election and the subsequent vindication of truth, we are quite confident that it is only a matter of time before the truth once again prevails in the matter of the 2020 election petition filed by our presidential candidate in the 2020 presidential elections, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. It is our hope that when the outstanding issues regarding the disputed parliamentary results, such as Techiman Saf, Sehuyoso, Hohoi, Takwan Suayim, Zabzugu, etc., are satisfactorily resolved, there will be a clear NDC majority in the 8th Parliament of the 4th Republic. Meanwhile, the NDC is calling for a full parliamentary inquiry to be instituted by the Speaker of Parliament into the unfortunate events of the January 7th, 2021 in Parliament, particularly the invasion of the Chamber of Parliament by gun-wielding military men with Azugu marks and the snatching of ballot papers by now dishonorable Carlos Ahenkra, and to punish all those who are found culpable in the accordance with the laws of this country, including the conduct of the Clerk of Parliament on that occasion, and to forestall any such occurrence in the future. How the Marshal of Parliament allowed the security of Parliament to be breached by people who are described in parliamentary parlance as foreigners on the floor of Parliament. If you are not a member and you enter there, you are a foreigner. So how the Marshal, who is in charge of the security of Parliament, allows his domain to be invaded in such a matter must be a matter of inquiry. And those who deserve to be punished must be punished accordingly. Whilst at it, let me state clearly and unequivocally that notwithstanding the inauguration of Mr. Akufo-Addo as President of Ghana, the NDC not, and I repeat, shall not recognize Mr. Akufo-Addo as the legitimate President of the Republic of Ghana until all the issues surrounding his flawed election are satisfactorily resolved. I want to repeat that the NDC shall not, and they must watch my lips, the NDC shall not recognize Mr. Akufo-Addo as a legitimately elected President of the Republic of Ghana until all the issues surrounding his flawed election are satisfactorily resolved. Thank you very much, and may God bless our home.
The NDC shall be stable Democrat.
Okay. P4. Yeah, say the Dika Imagina NDC and Panimfo Anemu, enemy and Casaso, Manemu, Ama Ghana Funina Afinshiapa, and then Central Funshia Mui. Your friend said, "Your betray or minor journey, I call an Ingwasi Samoa, AC ye." Ewo oman no mra hye badwamu na nuya abetwamu wa bra na parliament to aba apao mra hye badwamu chiame de dikai ye de nase ebema NDC mra hye badwafo oha aduasan son no nyina se wo mo akokodura wo mo de sori gina ye e de prema o my Ghana kan bi ma min kan bi amamuo ene National Democratic Congress Party no yedie ye besan so ada ye nuanom a wo mo wo MPP mu a de ekoso no nyina na ye wo mo tan ye wo mo ahi Isan say, woman say, or mine non canco, and who here chain party. Auntie, ebi etimi sorry jinaye, who no cre, a cotua bano, a ma, dear Mrasheba Yamuchiamino, Acunyano Fatano, ye Yenuya Alban Sumana Bagwin, na ene wabeye. Mrasheba Jamu Chiame, Yada woman se na yɛka no saa no na yɛtwe yɛadwen akɔ aninguasesɛm a esi wɔ mmarahyɛ badwam hɔ wabra abatoɔ no na ɛbɛkɔ so mobɛkae sɛ yɛkɔ abatoɔ December 2020 ɛbaeɛ no NDC bɛka sɛ kwan a aban no ɛne Electoral Commission akɔyɛ kutupa na wɔn akyinkyim nipa nsa ɛde soja ɛne polisifoɔ ne vigilantefoɔ ɛkɔboro nipa baabi wɔ hɔ ne awiawia ballot boxes ne asɛe no baabi wɔ hɔ ballot papers ne afa ne atitim a ne nyinaa na wɔn botae ne sɛ ɔman no bɛsan agye Nana Akufo-Addo atum sɛ ɔno na ɛyɛ mampanin ne asan agye ne mmarahyɛ badwamufoɔ no dodoɔ no ama wɔn abɛtena parliament megye di sɛ ɛberɛ a NDC baeɛ a ne yɛ complain wɔ saa nneɛma no Ghanafoɔ bebree a wɔn ankɔ field ankɔ hu deɛ siiɛ no na ɛyɛ wɔn adwene mu na sɛ NDC gyama dede bi ɛna yɛyɔ enti Nyankopɔn ɛwɔ kwan a ɔfa so ɛpaw dibɔnyɛni biara na sene ntoma ɛma yɛhunu nadagya ɛno nti nneɛma a ɛsisiiɛ ɛyɛ nansa ne nɛ no yɛnim sɛ ɛyɛ kwan a na Tweri Ampɔ Nyankopɔn ɔpɛ sɛ ɔda MPP foɔ suban ɛne Nana Akufo-Addo suban adi na Ghanafoɔ na ɛnyɛ Ghanafoɔ nko ampo wiasefoɔ nyinaa ɛfiri sɛ parliament dwumadie no kɔ so no ne ɛwɔ nsɛnkyerɛfoɔ a wɔn firi wiase baabiara na wɔn wɔ hɔ a wɔn so ɛrehwɛ bi ɛno nti nipa no nyinaa na etimi kɔɔ efie hɔ anaa nyɛ wɔn nyinaa so na etimi hwɛ TV ɛno nti ɛda ne kwan mu sɛ nneɛma ɛkokɔɔ so no yɛbɛkyerɛkyerɛ bi mu abɔ no tɔfa na mahunu deɛ ɛkɔɔ so deɛ di kan parliament no kɔtena ase a sɛ parliament kyeame ɛni hɔ a ɛnsɛ sɛ parliament hyia sɛ parliament bɛhyia a dwuma a wɔn bɛtumi adi a ne sɛ wɔn ɛbɛto aba ne ayi mmarahyɛ badwamu kyeame saa na yɛ mmara kuni no ɛkyerɛ na kyeame no ni hɔ a yɛwɔ deɛ ogya nanan mu edi saa adwuma no yɛfrɛ no clerk of parliament minim yamamre mu sɛ yɛbɛfrɛ no ahenkwaa o sɛ yɛbɛfrɛ no ɛdeɛ bɛyɛ ɛno nti papa yi ɛfrɛ nhyiamu no anadwo no dumienu pa ho meet bɛyɛ nson pɛ ɛna ɔmeɛbɔ mpaeɛ de dwumadie no ɛhyehyɛ so ɛno nti obie akwanya sɛ obiara wɔ nsusuyɛ a ɛfa nipa a ɛsɛ ɛde no yɛ mmarahyɛ badwamu kyeame a ɔmfa mmra enti yɛnua Haruna Idrusu ɛna sɔreyɛ ɛna osusu sɛ yɛmfa Honorable Bagben ɛnyɛ mmarahyɛ badwamu kyeame parliament nhyehyɛ wɔ hɔ sɛ ebue nomination na obi nominate obi a wa obɛsɔre a wobɛnya akwanya kasa bia na woyɛ obi a wobɛfoa ne so yɛma ho kwan sɛ yɛaka nomination ne ɛsɛ hwan na bɛfoa so a na obi foforɔ asɔre sɛ ɔka asɛm foforɔ ɛnso so no yɛbɔ Alban Sumani Bagben din a muntaka sɔre sɛ ɔkɔfoa so a ɛna MPP mmarahyɛ badwani bi a ɛfrɛ no Afenyo Makin ɔsɔre yɛ no ɔka sɛ ɔpɛ sɛ obisa clerk no sɛ ne nsa aka krataa bi a ɛfiri Cape Coast High Court a ɛkyerɛ sɛ Asen North MP a yɛapaw no kɔɔto abra no sɛ ɛnsɛ sɛ ɔbɛtena parliament hɔ no ɔsuae anaasɛ abato a yɛbɛto no obɛtumi ato bi nti ɛde akyinye ɛbae mea baabi a na mete no koraa no afenyo marking guso a o kasa o si opeso obisa clerk nse ne nsa kan krata bi no odi kan ka se ne nsa kan krata e wo tape so odi kan ka se ne nsa kan krata afi se yeden o kasa wie ya ese akwanya ba na anuye bi wo ho a na the other side so ayie no achinye no koso no a anwie yemra nimni kese pa oye former deputy attorney general Dominic Ayine osori gina se obekyereche nsem bi mu ana clerk o de ababo mu se o nensa aka samon krata no na wate ase se omma asen north MP on to Saba no bi eno de nsuo bo wa kase bo me enti omo enim rai we bisa no question we bisa no question we me akra ba bia mete no na mani ewu ama no if we say see Cape Coast High Court say omo issue krata 4:44 11 minutes echi na o nzaka no parliament ya krata no so ensese ye defa electronic mail bia so SSA obi di besha wonsa a oye belief clerk say nensaka asi belief ben na de baaye onim otewa o say Hamza ena a lawyer for na wo munim saa nipa no ana am so pani Hamza ye Cape Coast court registrar onye belief enti de ekro no na onim se ye mu binum nim se MPP akuku dam no bi ena court ho se yem fa krata no emfa mra wo mu head office ha ena omo de fa electronic mail mu ema MPP for no abi o fa krata no de koma clerk of parliament ya enye ne kwan so na clerk of parliament so ye hunahuna wa ma wa beje atum se Cape Coast belief na be serve krata enunti se obofo bi be ma na dwene se de waka no wontime nwi enti ompungu eno no a opugu ye se akurase makame nwie asemo a midi kan no me anam ka masem meboa enti yema opani no meto naba enti we kire opefe se na kana na bi koso efa MPP for any parliament akrache for a mramu no ensese momoko obi afa no ana ne botaya ne se yebeye kanta ama maikokui abewini nyame ncha ade na womoto epaaye womoto paaya enu free hoyi anso ho parliament mra constitution so kire se ye to aba wo parliament na efa se ye de sisa constitution no baabi ana se ye de to aba apa obi amana kodi akonwa bi ana ye to obi afiri akonwa so a esese sa abato no eye by secret ballot clerk kan sa amra no e de to dwa se eno ne de beye abato yi afa ye nkwasha abato yi ase a na MPP for so announce say wo mo de obi a ebe ma ballot paper bia o maake nipa obeto amana fa be kire MPP mpanimfo ansa na wo de akoto adaka mu ene si there bi etia constitution enti enya no sa ye beka wo mo ntiase ena wo mo sha ase se wo mo to aba no sa e de etia constitution no eno ne ma NDC MP4 no e sori ye ekotia mu se ye ma bato no nkoso ne nkɔ so kyena sɛ abatoɔ bi bɛkɔ so a ɛsɛ sɛ ɛfa mmara so frenkyem ɛnte saa na ɛnyɛ abatoɔ enti ɛkɔɔ so bɛyɛ mprɛnsa koraa yɛhyɛ ase a na wɔn gu so sɛ yɛn deɛ saa na yɛbɛyɛ no enti wobisa ho sɛ na nnipa yi wɔn ɛwɔ aban mu yi wɔn adwene ne sɛ ɔman no mmara no ɛnni wɔn na mmom nnipa a wɔn nyɛ MPP foɔ nko ara na ɔman mmara bɛdi wɔn anaasɛ wɔn adwene ne sɛn ɛno nti ɛno ma abatoɔ no atwe san ɛkyɛre paa enti pinkyen no kɔ so no afei yɛbɛhwɛ a sogyafoɔ na apie polisifoɔ na di kan baayɛ ansumo na sogyafoɔ apie ekurakura atuo armed ɛde azugu mat akatakata wɔn anim a wɔn abɛbɔ awura efie hɔ parliament hɔ a wonyɛ member of parliament a wontimi ɛmfa wo nan nsi hɔ no sogyafoɔ abɛwura hɔ baabi biara anka sogyafoɔ no sɛ akyiri wɔ mu nyinaa for mutiny sɛ wɔn ayɛ coup d'etat sɛ wɔn abɛwura mmarahyɛ badwam saa kikiri na obi tu ne ti wufo sɛ ma wɔn nkɔ ɔsɛ me ma wɔn nkɔ ɛna wɔn wɔ hɔ a ɛna yɛn NDC MP foɔ sɛ ɛna emu nku yɛn mprɛko sɛ mo de soja ahurahura yɛn wɔ outside na yɛn a yɛ fie ha mo bɛsan de soja abɛto ayɛ ha deɛ ɛna emu nku yɛn ne mfa nya abakosɛm ɛno nti sojafoɔ no egyina hɔ bɛyɛ sɛ meet dunum abato bi ankɔ so bibi bi ankɔ so ɛna akyire wɔn a de wɔn ani wo withdraw apie kɔɔyɛ ɛno akyi ɛna MPs wɔn mpanimfoɔ no ɛkɔhyia mu yɛ meeting sɛ ɛbrɛ ɛrekɔ adeɛ kye nso a ɛsɛ sɛ yɛsua president ɛno nti no wɔn nte aseɛ na abatoɔ no nkɔ so yie wɔn nyinaa te aseɛ sensan krataa sɛ yɛbɛte aseɛ ama abatoɔ no ayɛ by secret ballot no wɔn baayɛ a yɛhyɛ ballot no ase nipa no bebree ɛfaa se me deɛ enie ma yɛ me de akyerɛ na yɛtu MPs no fo sɛ wɔn nyae sɛ majority of MPs no na wɔn di mmara no so enti obi a ɔno pɛ sɛ ɔsan n'anim sɛ me na yɛfrɛ me Kwasi Patapaa no mo nyaa no ma no nyɛ ne patapaa enti wɔn yɛ yɛmfi wɔn ɛna yɛto aba wie enti yɛto aba no gu adaka no mu wie yi obiara nim sɛ aninguasesɛm a esi yɛ no ɛto atwa enti afei deɛ yɛbɛkan aba no ne ahunu deɛ odi nkonim yɛbu adaka yi ɛto hɔ a in fact nipa 275 no nyinaa bae obiara ni hɔ a yɛbɔ ne din ano ɔyɛ absent ɛsɛ na ni brɛ hɔ paa ɛno nti yɛbue adaka no so yɛ sorting no yɛdi kan ɛkan ballot a asɛe na ɛno yɛ baako nipa no di kan maake Michael Kwe ɛna otwa mu ɛtwerɛ bagben ɛna wɔn se wɔtwa mu koraa no a wamaake baabi enti yɛ mpere so me yɛ nkan ɛna yɛde to nkyɛn yɛse ate wɔn kan Michael Kwe deɛ no na akɔyɛ 136 a ɛkyerɛ sɛ wodi pusagrama koraa NDC afa every day I didn't 275 we back when I say free mu na we 136 free mu dia ka no ye 138 enu nti yete wa na ehu se chairman Sambonsu wa frɛ Carlos Ahenkura Nti one no kasa kakra kwansima na obi gina chairman Sambonsu animu ne adaka no. Ana ode ne nsabo nipa na chi se ontwe ne ho mai kwan mu. Enti se na obai kwan mu ama kromfo na aba. So eno obai kwan mu a ikiri Usain Bolt no abetam abambagbin vote no nyina e de abone bo ye chesi no ode mienu ahye nanum anunti emse na bulsafo kakra so parliament ho enti wo so kire na de kakra bi enti wo bia brebre eji enkrata jeze wa wi mienu amene afe yenim se ya che na awie dia asem de na asem ko Chairman Sambonsu no a wo wasoma obi amana boss akro no no mo san sori agina se aba no ye betwam efise obi abefa nkrata na nkofo esusu se yen ya hohuru ya nimu a de kosoro ana eno nti eno kwa twen yen mietra ho be se dɔhwiri mienu achi na eguso afi na omo aba jombo adunum nyina aba ne abɛhye kokoam baabi yɛse yɛfrɛ me hɔ nam se menya MP me nkɔ hɔ me nkɔ hɔ me gyina abɔnten so ha na deɛ tie bia mo bɛbɔ bagbin din sɛ wa wini election ɛno nti wɔ mo yɛ ya na kyɛ sɛ ankosi aga clerk no pia na mka sɛ wona conduct o elections council resource yɛne mu ni meeting bia council resource sɛ o mo hyehyɛ o no nyina no ebi adwene sɛ MPP animu agu ase na na kufu ade yakɔbɔ na mane sɛ de asini a yenim de obɛyɛ ɛno nti yɛsrɛ sɛ mommie nkɔ announce sɛ abatoɔ no yɛanya nto na man kokwe oduru baabi no ohun sɛ ɔpɛ sɛ ɔgyae ma bagbin na ɔgyae ma bagbin nam sɛ ɛde ani wusɛm ni na mo nkɔ na mo hwɛ TV ɔma hwɛ nyina deɛ wabɛwia nkrataa bɛwia wopɛ sɛ yɛka sɛ abatoɔ ama so na mo korɔ no ɛbɛda dadi enti yɛnyɛ saa mo nkɔka Michael Kwe oba mu no onim se waba akokora wontimi nante enti se amanfo susu se yemfa ma obi a wa ahodin se obeye adwuma ne de ama no a se wa hwoko akoda fie eno nti obi amfrew you want him with your eyes open nti wo mu nan so ena nyame nche dia ya nan so eno nti ya semo ne se saa ne ma na esisi se yɛka sɛ yɛ prapra ɛde ahyɛ kɛtɛ bi ase ne ayɛ adwen sɛ watwa mu a yɛntwa mu a aninguaseɛ na aba no Ghanafoɔ a ɛte ɔman num ɛne wɔn a wɔn te aburokyire baabi biara no yɛde fi aka wɔn nyinaa ɛno nti ɛsɛ sɛ yɛ democracy no etimi sɔre na se obi di fin abeka no a yetimi popa sa fin no free ho na omuhu se Ghana mistake betimi aba na mistake ba banyansafo wo Ghana wo mo sori e popa sa fin no free ho ne e ka se ye wi a ne awi a ye wi a ye nwie ye enti ye nam mo so e to nkra ama speaker foforo na waba no se na juma no be yi a ese so hya ase ese obeti ba so ko bi e be hwehwe ensemfin no a ekọ e wo December 6 and December 7 e wo parliament ho yan hwehwe de edi sojafo ni prosifo no be wura parliament ho Yanhwehwe kwan a enam so a Marshal of Parliament ya ono Parliament security for no nyina oda wo mo ano ona ehwe bambo so wo Parliament otimitra ho ema other security forces ebe invade premises no san ekowura mrahye badwa fie ho no se na adwuma no ontimi nya yempa nipa foforo ma nenye na yensan hwe clerk no a ono so emra ehye no se ne office no ense se odiko obi afa na kwanye fa so a court nkrata mu ho nsem a emu na ho ene kwanye fa so a yamano asudie se omyento aba emu beda ho na ebe secret ballot na MPP for the mrano share wo mun sase wo mun ye secret ballot na ono wantimi anya ho bibibia no ya hwehwe ono so ne ye num na obi biara asotwe fata no yemfa sa asotwe no emma no na nye asensodie enna ho se oba be say Ghana democracy yewo eho asotwe wo ho a esese ye de twem na we nyina yekoso no ese ye kekamfu a ekekama adampan na ye yi speaker ne aform parliament ama Nana Akufo-Addo akosai akire parliament enti ye wie no okosai kire parliament no fa NDC MPs yansi ho ifri say ye gina ye nanso say abato na ekoso 7th December no na emu na ho na niema na ye ka ho asem say esisi ya na eye binom tribunal no eno na Nyankopon aboa ma wo mo ankasa bepa wo mo ho ntoma eno ntino kosi se yebehwehwe saa niema mu akosi every three akosi to twan na obia hunu se abato no bibibia eto chima wo mu bia no yakura no ana ye free ho no yen NDC fo ne akitafo nyina se Nana Akufo-Addo ye mu no se oye president ya o man Ghana ato abayi no Inti so obey president ya obey president on half of the country and this for come enunti our Flagstaff house ho ochimai na odi no ho ohwe akire mai ne enkope president da president papa beba no ye no be ye adwuma ye da mu nyina ase nyame enhyira e man Ghana.
Hello, please can you mute the music? So the journalists hearing gathered would want to find out from you whether you have questions for the General Secretary. If you have a question, kindly come in front here. We'll give you a microphone. Sound man, can I get another microphone? So come closer.
Hello.
Bring it here. So you tell us your name, your media organization, and your question.
All right. My name is Kojo Ajman. I work with CTFM. I want to find out...
Please, can we have order in the auditorium, please?
I want to find out if the NDC, and for that matter, the NDC caucus in Parliament, are not recognizing President Akufo-Addo as president-elect and sworn in. Will they participate in the vetting of ministers?
Thank you. Any other? Okay. Your name and your media organization.
I'm here for joining. My name is Parker Wilson. I'm for Joy News. And when the General Secretary was speaking, he talked about investigating Carlos Ahinkra, and also made reference to the video in which you've seen the speaking to Carlos. We don't get the voice or the sound of whatever they are discussing. So why don't you conclude that perhaps he was asking him to do that?
Thank you, please. Finally, thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
And finally, General, you are asking that Carlos be investigated. We also equally saw members of your party, John Jinapor, Muntaka Mubarak, to be specific, also disrupting the process. Why also not calling for an investigation should be launched into their conduct whilst it disrupted the process as well? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other question? Please, let's have order in the auditorium. Let's have order in the auditorium.
Komla is my name. I work for TV3. One of the questions I was going to ask was just asked by Parker, whether you are going to give your thumbs up for, whether you are going to go in for the full investigation of all members who are culpable, both on your side and that of the MPP side. Then, two, you did indicate that when the ballot paper was snatched by Carlos Ahinkra and both leaders together with the clerk went into conclave to look at the way forward for which your side was demanding that, yes, indeed, you had won and that your candidate must be declared, who from the NPP side did say that you should issue a joint statement? Can you be clear to tell us who made that statement?
Thank you very much. Any other? We are taking only one round of questions. So if you have a question, you can ask it now. Media. Okay. Kindly come in front.
Good afternoon. My name is Bintu.
Yeah.
General say, my media house is Top FM. This is here, President Nanado, a caretaker president. And NDC MPs, so Muhuni say, or a president, they are not going to participate in anything. President Musa said, bills a parliament. A State of the Nation address, we are a bit debate. On may take part. Bills on may discuss because I benefit Ghana for our policies. And in the MIA Kana, Yadiakoya Jumama Ghana for no, Omubeba debate. In this instance, Omuhuni said president in T. A better than Ghana for in Faso about Matomos.
Okay, thank you very much. So, General will provide answers to these questions. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I don't know whether I should speak English or I don't know. Obi Bisa said whether our people will participate in the vetting. Yes, we will participate in the vetting. The vetting is not meant to approve. It is also meant to block thieves from becoming ministers. Yes. Number two. Number two, somebody was asking me about the voice of Che Mensah, whether I saw his gesticulations, but did I hear his voice? I'm a master of sign language, so what he's saying, I know. That we have a sign language person here. So when you are urging somebody to go and steal, I can see from your gesticulations that you are urging somebody to go and steal. Somebody is also asking what we should do about Muntaka's conduct. We should award him a national prize. Because you see, you know that killing may be wrong. But if you see somebody going to bomb Akosombo Dam, and you kill that person, the court will set you free. So when you talk about disruptive conduct, it doesn't include the conduct that is intended to prevent wrongdoing. So Muntaka acted well, and I believe he deserves a national award. So we indicated here that, you see, where injustice and impunity become law, then resistance becomes a duty. So somebody is doing something wrong. You have tried using every means to stop that person, he will not stop. You must resist him with all the force you can command. And that is lawful. So you will be acting in the interest of Ghana if you prevent people by whatever means from subverting our constitution. So that's why I call those who are involved in that activity gallant MPs. They stood up in defense of our democracy and our constitution. So this one, there is no equalization. One person was doing wrong, was subverting our democracy, and another person was applying minimum force to prevent the wrongdoer from pursuing his actions. And so, in defense of the Constitution and democracy. So, the actions of some of them are very, very justifiable. Then I'm being asked who made a statement on Michael Oquaye that they wanted us to make a statement. It was from the MPP leadership. And they presented this as a proposal to our side. And we shut it down. So how they concluded, who suggested it, and how they adopted it as a proposal for us, it is their business, it's not our business. Then somebody is asking whether we will debate bills. Yes. We would debate bills. And if they are wrong, we will shoot them down. We are not going to leave Parliament for Ajapa to come and be passed. When it is brought, we will shoot it down. So when we say we don't recognize Nana Akufo-Addo as a president, we know what will hurt the national interest and what will further the national interest. Thank you very much. Thank you. Have you seen this? You are yet to elect a Speaker of Parliament. And then because of your fraudulent deals, and you were satisfied that by all means the election will be rigged. So you predetermined that Michael Oquaye will remain the Speaker. And so you go to print your brochure with Michael Oquaye's picture as a Speaker. So when Abam Bagbin got elected, you quickly now, this is Michael Oquaye. You quickly now go and print something and then paste it on top of Michael Oquaye's a sticker and paste it. You see, they have taken Ghana for granted for far too long. So these things will not be countenanced anymore. We have to rescue our democracy. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, sir, for that insightful and inspirational presentation. I can still see some of your some hands up. When we are done, General will still be here, so you can meet him and have an interview with him. But at this stage, we'd like to thank all of you, particularly our friends from the media, for attending this press conference. Because we are still engaged in the battle to rescue this country. We couldn't meet with you during the Yuletide. But we want you to know that we appreciate you a lot, and at the right time, we'll meet and show our appreciation. So thank you very much for coming, and we are hoping to meet you very, very soon. Thank you.
Operation of the